How do you fill your fresh water supply when you're camping off the grid and you don't want to move your RV? I want to be able to boondock for 2 weeks without moving our RV. But our onboard freshwater supply is not large enough for us to last that entire time unless we either quit taking daily showers or I quit washing my hair every time I do take a shower. You know I embrace my inner Billy Metro when we're camping. But I don't like skipping showers and I really hate not washing my hair, especially when we're doing a lot of campfires, so I'm desperate for a solution. I don't know if you remember, but we did a video on our DIY gravity feed water system. But our old system of filling a water drum that sits in the back of our truck doesn't work for us anymore because we upgraded from a bumper pole trailer to a fifth wheel trailer. And now we don't have all the room in the back of our pickup truck to be able to store that drum. 2 reasons. The fifth wheel hitch, our Andersen hitch that sits in the bed of the truck, that takes up a lot of room in the truck bed. The other thing is that old water drum, it actually was tall enough that it extended beyond the rails of the truck. And now with our fifth wheel, when we're turning, we need that clearance for the trailer that hangs over the bed of the truck to be able to turn and maneuver. So we can't have anything that extends above the bed rails and make it work with our new trailer. So we bought a flexible water bladder. The cool thing about this is it goes flat, it can be folded, it can be stored just about anywhere, and now we don't have that issue with space or clearance in the bed of the truck. Let's see how this new system works for us now. We have to wait to get everything that is in the bed of the truck out of the truck to be able to put this bladder in here flat and fill it up, because we actually do use the bed of our truck for storage of some equipment as we travel. So once we get here and we get set up and the bed of the truck is empty, then we can put the bladder in here really easily. We don't have to remove the Andersen hitch to be able to fit this bladder in the bed of the truck. If we had a bigger bladder, we would have to remove that hitch as well. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to unpack the bladder from our storage compartment. Nice little compartment. Store that in one of the bins that we don't use stuff very often. We don't use the generator very often. We don't use the water bladder very often. There's some tools and stuff in there. So we're going to take that bladder out of there and we're going to put it in the bed of the truck so we can go grab some water. And now we're going to put that bladder in the back of the truck. We got our solar panels out. We're getting ready to go on a kayak trip, so we're getting this ready as soon as we're done with our tours here with our water bladder and filling that up. Yes, it's a beautiful day to go kayak. Can't wait to get out there, but we need water first. So there it is. We are in the bed of the truck and ready to go grab some water. Let's go. There's actually 2 ways that we can fill this thing. We can have the water come to us, or we can go to the water. So as camp hosts this summer, we were getting water delivered to us. So here is the truck with Lou driving down the road, and he is going to fill our bladder right here, and we don't even have to go get the water. But there are some times when Lou is off and we aren't getting water from him, so we need to go get it. We're gonna go to the campground that's right down the road, and that is free water to everybody that is camping in the area. You don't have to be a camp host. We're gonna fill up the bladder and then we're gonna drive it back to our rig and we are going to fill it up here. When you pull up into a dump station, we're making sure that you got a non-potable, non-drinking water thing here. Here is where you connect your dump hose into the sewer. This is just for flushing if you want to like back flush or whatever in your black tank. Here's the instructions on how to do the dump. Connect your hose, insert the hose, wash out any spillage, yada yada. If you need to pay for it, you pay for it right there. Here's a little garbage can. Make sure you use that when you're using gloves so that you don't get your hands all gross when you're doing the dump. After you do that, you can pull up and get to clean, potable drinking water that is here. You can fill your freshwater tank, but don't use it to flush your waste tanks. So we're filling, make sure you use a nice white drinking water hose that's all clean. You might want to use a filter before you pump into your bladder. We know that this is really good water here, and we're not using it for drinking. We're just using it for showers and washing dishes and stuff when we get home. So this works for us without actually putting filter on it. You can see that bladder is filling up. Depends on the rate of flow, but usually it takes about how long?
10 or 15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes. This thing is for when you're going into your trailer.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so there's two things on here. Yeah. And then these things are just what, to help lift it?
Yeah.
So we're going to be about 1,000 pounds extra in the in weight in the bed of the truck by the time both of the bladders are full. And Pete is saying how nice the truck is going to ride because these F-350s are meant to be workhorses, and they like having weight in the bed of the truck or being towed behind it. So they actually drive better that way. They drive smoother that way. So we will finish this chore, move on to our other chores, and then when we get back to camp, we will be filling up the trailers. Every rig is different, and like I said, we have a 303 Grand Design Reflection. It's a 303 RLS, and it's a 2024 model, and so they did a really great job of putting all of the knobs and the stickers to show you exactly what position you need each valve in to do the thing you want to do. Your trailer might be different, so obviously check with your manufacturer to see how you need to move water and fill out of a tank, external tank, and into your onboard water tank. The biggest difference between this and our old system with our bumper pull is that was a gravity feed system. You didn't need any kind of pump to move it out of that, that barrel jug that we had into the trailer. It was all gravity feed. This is a pump system, and so it works a whole lot more efficiently, and we don't have to worry about getting that bladder in the truck that we have here higher than the level of the port going into the trailer. So that's a huge benefit to our upgraded trailer and the system for refilling our freshwater supply while we're boondocking. This is the water that we use for showers and for washing dishes and that kind of thing. We don't actually drink this water. We use drinking water for our drinks, for our coffee, and for the cat's water. Okay, so here's Pete. He is getting ready to offload some of the water that we just picked up, and he's going to show you how we hook everything up to move it out of the bladder into the trailer. Our white clean freshwater hose, and we have this little spigot here. So you saw when we were filling the bladder over at the campground, we were filling into that port, this port right here, and that was just with a hose right direct into that. Now we're coming out of the bladder, so we need this little valve spigot thing to get hooked up to our fresh water.
Open it just to get the air out, and
open it to let some air out of the line.
Get in the line, I guess we should say.
Get in the line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you want to get the air out of the line so you don't cavitate the pump. So what we do is basically take the cap off that port where we're going to hook to. We're going to get some water flowing.
Okay, so this is our city water inlet, is that right?
Yep,
and the sticker is over here, so you can't really see that. It does say city water inlet there. It's got that little filter before you put that on there.
It's not really
a little screen, so if there's any bigger particles that are in the water or in the line, right, it'll catch that before it goes into the tank.
So we're going from dry camping, which is this switchology here, and we're going to go to siphon mode, which is actually the exact opposite. So the pump is on. All we need to do is switch these 90 degrees, and you'll hear the pump start running, and it will start sucking from that tank through the hose into our internal freshwater tank. So right now the water is moving.
And we can hear it. We really love this panel here because it's kind of idiot-proof. It tells you exactly what position all of those valves need to be in order to do the thing you want to do. So we're siphoning out of the bladder into the onboard freshwater tank. That'll take, if we're empty and we're emptying the whole bladder, it takes about, what, 15 minutes or so?
Yeah, probably
15,
20 minutes. Okay.
So we're waiting for that little blue tank to overflow, letting us know that the onboard tank is full. As the water comes out, the bladder is deflating. We're getting close to getting to the bottom of the bladder. So what we like to do is just kind of hang it off the tailgate of the truck. The water will drain down to the spigot so that it goes through the hose and actually empties. We want to empty the bladder as much as possible.
Because we're going to store it. You want to get all the water out so we can fold it up properly when we're done with it.
Water's heavy. We don't want water sitting in the bladder, so we want to empty this as much as possible so that when we fold it and we put it back into its container for storage and for our next trip down the road, it is completely empty. That's good for weight, and that's also good for space. The pump is basically sucking the bladder dry. Pete is folding it, so we're forcing all of the remaining water into the bottom here.
Close this off.
And we're going to close that.
Disconnect the hose, turn this off.
Disconnect the hose.
So,
We're changing the switching back. So it's still sucking right now. So how do you turn it off? The pump is still going.
You can turn the pump off if you want,
Okay,
but there's no reason to. So let the pump run.
Okay.
It's basically sucking air, but we're going to switch the switches so that it pressurizes the water system inside. So we're just 90 degrees on everything. Pump will pressurize and it will de-energize the pump. You can hear it. May take a second. There it goes.
Okay, so it stopped. So again, the settings for us here, we're in the dry camping. That's that upper left icon right there. Dry camping mode, so the white lever goes down, the green one goes up, and the blue one goes to the left. And that's how we have all of the handles. We're going to disconnect our freshwater hose and put the hose away and put the bladder away and be done for the day.
We normally just store the hose right up on top here.
Hose goes in the basement, so it's something that we use if we're sitting somewhere for a while. We kind of use it a lot, so we like to have that in a position that is easy to get to when we are parked. It's draining, got a little bit of water on a rag so we can wipe it down before we store it all away. Dry it off good. We're in some sun here, so that won't take a whole lot of time. And we are boondocking, so everything is very dirty and dusty. We're on a dirt road here, so we try to wipe down before we put stuff away. And then, of course, when we get to our next destination or home or wherever, and we're going to clean really good, then we'll pull all this stuff out and clean it for longer term storage. We've got this bin from the basement, and now Pete is just going to put the bladder in there. There's nothing that's sharp in there that's going to puncture that. There is a little patch thing here too if you ever do have a puncture, but that's it. So I'm gonna store that. Look at how strong he is.
Yeah.
Woo, baby. All right, close her up. We've decided after using it a couple of times this summer that our new water bladder works like a charm, yeah?
Definitely.
But if you would like to see how our gravity system works, if you don't have a pump system inside your rig, that one might work good for you. So we'll leave a link for that video in the description below. We'll also leave a link below for the products that we use here today. And if you've got any questions on either system, give us a comment, let us know, and we'll try to help you out in any way we can. But we're loving this one, right?
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Perfect.
All right. See you soon.